My next guest was 37 years old when she made a plan to work towards financial independence for her family. In just 4 years, the mother of two saved more than $700,000 and retired at 41 years old. Now she's on a mission to help other women retire early.
Life was tough for us growing up. We were financially insecure. I started working at 14 to help take care of myself. I went on to obtain my bachelor's degree, a master's, and last but not least, a PhD in information systems. And I was a professor of analytics for 10 years. I was living the American dream. But in 2017, I went through a divorce, and all of those financial insecurities came rushing back. My hope was to become financially independent so that no matter what disruption would come next, I would be prepared. I had a small $5K emergency fund, and that $125K that I did have in retirement at 37, it didn't seem like enough. So I got bold, and I made some very unpopular decisions to put myself in a better financial position. And in mid-2021, I had accumulated $850K and was able to quit working full-time and focus on living life. And I want other women to really be bold. Step away from the status quo. I want you to know that you too are worthy of being wealthy.
Wow. Tam Fam, please welcome Dr. Lakisha Simmons. She joins us now from her home in Nashville, Tennessee. Dr. Simmons, I love the title of your book, The Unlikely Achieve Her. You admit that you're not a financial advisor, but you say that it doesn't take an expert to take control of your money. You followed a savings method called FIRE, which stands for Financial Independence, Retire Early. Talk to me first about the mindset for this to work.
Absolutely. Thank you, Tamron, for having me here today. FIRE changed my life. FIRE is a new lifestyle. It's all about saving for your financial future. It's just not something we were taught to do, but I'm so glad that I learned about it, and now I'm early retired.
How does it work?
So basically, what you're going to do is determine how much money do you really need to live on, and how much do you think you'll need at your ideal retirement age. And I want women to be bold and think about retiring before 65. So you're going to save and invest. But first, of course, you have to track those expenses, which we kind of sometimes hate to do when we think about our budget. But if it weren't for my budget bestie and tracking my expenses, I wouldn't know how much money I would need to retire. So that's the first step. And then once you do that, you can get into your retirement account. So if you have a 401k at work, I really encourage women to ask HR, what options do I have available? What can I invest in? Educate yourselves. And then last but not least, you're going to invest like crazy. And you're going to save that money. You're going to cut those expenses, put that money in the stock market, and let it grow. And over time, you'll be surprised how fast your nest egg can grow.
Well, because we have real talk here, I'm going to be real honest with you. I was probably in my 40s before I even understood the stock market. And I was making a lot of money in my 20s because I got into TV early and was lucky enough to do well. When people tell me stock market, I'm thinking, well, women, we're already paid less than men. We have a harder time breaking into the upper echelons of these offices. And now you want me to take the what I have and invest it, right? So that's to say, though, Lakisha, that Dr. Simmons, women shouldn't be afraid of it, but how do we become empowered by things traditionally we have not been invited to do?
Absolutely, Tamron. Thank you for bringing that up. It is scary, and I was scared. But I'll tell you one thing, being insecure financially is much worse than
Yeah.
being scared to take a risk that could pay
Yeah.
off in the long term.
Yeah.
All right?
And that is the thing. I mean, oftentimes, I tell people, I try to approach life as my 27-year-old self when I had less fear. Now, once you have a child and you are your backup plan, you make more cautious decisions. But that doesn't mean you can't make decisions. You talk about cutting out monthly expenses and really taking a hard look, to your point, of what you really need. What was the hardest thing to cut from your expenses so that you could retire early? Because mine would be shoes.
Honestly, from the very beginning, I sat down and I thought about what kind of life I wanted to have. Tamron, I want you to know that when I was going through my divorce, it it literally almost broke me.
Ah,
I remember those nights crying alone in my bed with those two little guys in their beds. And I said to myself, I can't live like this.
yeah.
I've accomplished so much. I have a PhD and I'm living paycheck to paycheck. I have this one paycheck and these two little guys I'm taking care of. No more. So I decided that I really had to step up and learn about the stock market. How does it work? Because everyone listening knows that the stock market makes millionaires. We
Mm.
all know that. So I could no longer be afraid and not learn about it, educate myself, get comfortable, and take small steps. You
Small
don't have
steps.
to invest your whole paycheck.
Yeah,
Just take a small step and learn about it and start
yeah.
with your 401k at work to start building generational wealth.
Let me ask you before we go, because I have your book. What is the easy first thing that the women who are watching here in the audience and at home should do tonight, in addition to reading The Unlikely Achiever? What's the small step we can take tonight?
The small step is to take a serious look at your
Hmm.
expenses. Write down everything that you're spending. I like Google Sheets. I actually have a free budget on my website. You're welcome to grab it and use that budget. And I teach these things. I'm a teacher and I have a passion for helping women
Right.
because I want you to reach your financial independence
Wow.
as well. So let's get started.
Let's get started. Dr. Simmons, thank you so much for joining us. Thank you.